What's up, my fellow dirtbags? It's Bruce again. I recently heard a little bit of drama surrounding the Dragon Awards, specifically involving the award for Best Illustrated Cover for 2024. If you don't know, the Dragon Awards have been presented annually by DragonCon since 2016. These awards recognize excellence in science fiction, fantasy, and horror in various media, including novels, movies, television, and games. Fandom votes on the winners in categories such as Best Science Fiction Novel, Best Fantasy Novel, and Best Science Fiction or Fantasy TV Series. So what's the drama? The drama is that a finalist was removed for the Best Cover Award. Nobody reached out. Nobody gave a statement. Fans were confused. The publisher that artist worked at was confused. And the whole situation has been handled just very odd. So I'm going to read some of the statements that have been put out from both the publisher and the people at DragonCon and kind of delve into that a little bit deeper. From Raconteur Press, which is where Cedar Sanderson works, the statement reads, "I am the production manager for Raconteur Press, and our lead designer is Cedar Sanderson. Cedar was nominated for a Dragon Award for her work on our book, Goblin Market, and achieved a place on the final ballot in the category Best Illustrative Cover for 2024. Or so we thought. Several hours after the final ballot was announced, and we proudly shared the information, Cedar's name was removed. We were surprised by this removal. There has been no explanation, no replacement name added to the list, and no comment of any kind from the Dragon Awards as to the reason behind it. Cedar has not been contacted, and multiple emails from many fans have gone unanswered. In their frustration, her fans have been emailing, messaging, and calling us to see if we have any communication or information as to the why of this. We are, unfortunately, equally in the dark. We've been referring them to the contact form on the awards page, but no information has been forthcoming. The lack of any comment on the Dragon Awards part is now beginning to lead to speculation as to the integrity of the awards as a whole in light of the recent Hugo issues at the China Worldcon. I would think your organization would be striving to maintain the utmost transparency." I don't know what's going on with the Hugo Awards. I'll look into that later. The lack of comment and the speculation of the integrity of the awards, I fully understand that. In this day and age, when someone is just pulled out for no reason and no one says anything, it's pretty suspect as to maybe the motives being a little bit nefarious. And I don't want to be a tinfoil hat nuttery, but possibly ideologically, politically driven. I don't know. I don't. Is there any plan whatsoever to address this? Will there be a statement of any kind as to the reasons? I would like to return to my regular job of publishing great short fiction and not be fielding the frustrated and angry messages of fans who nominated her in good faith. I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation, and sharing it will help. Please let us know what the plan for this is going forward. Thank you. Now, we did actually end up getting a response from DragonCon, specifically from the DragonCon co-chair, Dave Cody. His response reads, "After posting the nominee list for the 2024 Dragon Awards on the Dragon Awards website, we were alerted to the fact that Cedar Sanderson's entry in the Best Illustrative Cover category had been created in part using artificial intelligence tools. As a consequence, we removed her cover for the Goblin Market from consideration because we don't allow AI in our art show, comic, and pop artist alley, vendor halls, or the awards. Though Sanderson's nomination was included on the website for a short time, none of the ballots emailed to prospective voters included it. Our intent with Dragon Awards is to provide a great list of books to read across 8 categories: television shows and movies to watch, comic books to read in both tabletop and video games to play, and in a category we added last year, admire the best artist work on book covers. We recognize that AI is a new tool with enormous potential, and society will eventually come to a consensus about how it should be used and how much content can be created using AI while still crediting a human for the work, at which time we will consider changing our policy. Until then, however, we want the Dragon Awards to offer fans an opportunity to recognize the humans who create the works that fans love best. We apologize for the disruption this has caused, and it was completely our fault for not catching that the Goblin Market cover was created with AI tools. We will be implementing process changes so that this does not happen again in the future. Sincerely, Dave Cody, co-chair, DragonCon." Raconteur Press did respond, and I want to read that before I go any further. David, Thank you for your response. While we've never hidden the fact that Cedar uses AI tools, we have no issue with you choosing the standards for your award. We are a bit surprised that you removed her from the nomination based on a notification from someone without bothering to conduct the due diligence by contacting either her or her publisher for clarification. We note, as have many other people, that your stated rules for entry on the Dragon Awards site do not mention in any way, shape, or form that the artist's use of AI tools in the work is not allowed for that nomination. Indeed, this is the only requirement listed. What is the best illustrative book cover for a qualifying work of science fiction, fantasy, young adult, alternate history, or horror novel first released in print or electronic format during the last half of a year, July 1st and later, and the first half of a year, January 1st to June 30th? Unless we are missing something, and please correct us if we are, nowhere on the Dragon Awards page does it say no use of AI tools. This is clearly causing a lot of confusion with the nominations and the voting. If there was to be no AI tool use allowed, that should have been stated on the awards page from the beginning of the nomination. Sudden removal of a finalist with no explanation and no direct contact for a standard not listed as a disqualifying factor from the beginning of the nomination period reduces the trust in the process substantially. It would be remiss of us if we did not point out that many people have noted several other nominations in this category appear to have used AI processes. We will trust that after being notified about Cedar's use of AI, you chose to verify with all the finalists that they didn't use any AI tools in the production of their work. As it is now, we will become a point of interest for those nominations disenfranchised by this lack of clarity. Going forward, we would suggest that after this year's confusion, that your organization take the necessary steps to make the requirements for a valid nomination in this category clear and precise, and that these clear and concise standards be applied consistently. What specific AI tools and processes are forbidden? Photoshop, for example, has built-in AI Firefly. Does it disqualify an artist if they use it? Again, we thank you for your response, Raconteur Press. So yeah, the way it was handled was very suspicious. The fact that they just cut it and they didn't notify the artist, the publisher, and they didn't say anything about it for, it looked like a couple of days, I think. That is unprofessional, to say the least. I don't want to jump straight to something sinister was going on and this is some kind of ideologically political driven hit job. I don't know. It seems a little weird, especially if, as they say, other covers also used AI and they didn't get pulled. But say it was just a mistake. So what are the grounds going to be going forward if, like he says, Photoshop uses AI in Firefly, and even novels, you know, there's so much AI that we use. I mean, couldn't you consider most computer systems AI that help writers to write, things like that, like word processor? I don't want to assume that something malicious is going on. But when you see so many of these cons that have basically become shallow husks of what they used to be because all these ridiculous ideological activists have basically taken over and turned them into ridiculous little HR conventions, it's hard for me not to think that that's what's going on here. Because I don't know anything about Cedar Sanderson, never heard her name before, don't know anything about her. Although I did a little Googling, I realized that she might be the one that actually did the covers for the Saga, The Forgotten Warrior. And if that's the case, she's pretty rad. Which also means that she works with Larry Correia, who is a pretty open conservative / super predator on Twitter and basically public enemy #1 for the Libbies. So if she has that affiliation with him, I wouldn't be surprised if those that hate him immensely would do something like this just to be nasty. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I don't know if that's what's going on. I hope that's not the case. I hope it's just stupidity, I guess. Something, people really dropping the ball and being unprofessional, and hopefully they get things figured out in the year to come and really straighten out what AI is and isn't allowed to be used, because that's a broad, it seems like it's a broad it's a broad restriction. It's a broad subject. And the idea that I don't think Cedar just like put in a prompt and then the AI did the whole thing. I'm sure I don't know anything about like how she actually made the cover, but I would be shocked if she literally just put a prompt in and then just used whatever AI spat out. I'm sure she still did a bunch of actual work as an artist on that cover. Otherwise, what would be the point in paying her? You could just executives could just do that themselves. The authors can get together and do it themselves. Why would they need the artists to do it? So I feel like, yeah, she may have used AI, and I don't know, but I would be shocked to find that she just had AI create the whole thing. So what is the actual standard going to be going forward? And again, did those other artists also use AI? And if they did, why are they still in? So I think there needs to be more statements put forth by DragonCon before this situation gets put to bed. That being said, you guys tell me what you think about it. Put down in the comments. I hope that it's not something malicious. I really do. I hope it's just a really weird misunderstanding and something that was poorly handled. Well, that's all I got for this video. Like, subscribe. Like I said, leave that comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.